Attention.
So here's a heat in the Prince Albert with the students from Utrecht, Orca in the Netherlands, up against Trinity College Dublin on the right of our screen in the striped shirts.
And both crews getting off very clean there. You know, they've got their cots kind of steering them, making sure they're in the straightest line possible. Just calling the kind of, you know, the steps as they go through the kind of gears off the start.
And you can see really good steering from both these boats because they've got the coxes, as we can see, they're lying down in the front of the boat. So unlike some of the crews we've seen getting pushed off towards the middle, coxes here doing a great job in this student coxed fours event. And we can see the crew from Trinity College Dublin right in front of us here. And they want to try and stay in contact with the students from Utrecht in the Netherlands at the top of the screen.
Yeah, the Dutch crew's just kind of moving out there, just gradually inching out, you know, standing their boat. And it's going to be really interesting to see whether the Dublin, Trinity College Dublin crew can stay in contact.
Yeah, I was speaking to some of the Trinity College Dublin parents just before the race today, and they said they were really hoping that the crew would continue to progress. The captain of the club said they had an 8 with four heavyweights, 4 lightweights, and they've made the decision not to go for the 8 but to go for this coxed 4. And as we see here, they're coming down through the 3/4 mile. They're through halfway on the course, and it is the students from Utrecht we can see on the left of the picture who've got out to a little bit of clear water, and the students from Trinity College Dublin are going to need to make a good move coming past the Remenham club that you can see on the left there if they're going to get back in contact and get into a real race up the enclosures.
It's really interesting from the shot. You can see how much room there is actually in that section of the river between the booms. There's more than you think. Especially as an athlete, you always feel quite claustrophobic between them, but there is plenty of room out there.
Yeah, there is, and the coxes sometimes don't appreciate quite how much they've got when they try to get tight and try to move across the course. But as it is here, we've got both crews really well on their station, and I'm really looking for Trinity College Dublin to see if they can find something more. It's going to be tough for them to find something more at this part of the race. They're still in the slightly quiet area. They haven't quite got to the enclosures. They'll see that board up behind them, the number 1 representing the crew that we can see on the right, the number 2 representing themselves, the Trinity College crew, and they'll think, we want to close that gap, we want to get those boards to overlap.
It's really tough though in a big boat to make a massive impact to speed. You know, in the smaller boat classes, you can turn things around very quickly, you know, by changing boat speed. But in the bigger boats, they're moving so quickly already, it's always very difficult to change speed, and, you know, kind of close that gap is going to take a lot of energy.
Yeah, that's right. And the cox 4 is a slightly slower moving boat. Obviously, you've got the weight of the cox in there as well. So they need to keep the strokes really long and like you say, harder to make that big sort of gear change of speed that we might see in the smaller boats.
Being an athlete or past athlete that was in a lot of cox boat, what's it like kind of having someone sitting there shouting at you?
Well, I like to think they need to shout the right things. There's that balance really of giving you the information you need. So you'll see the cox will have the little box in front that tells you time and strokes per minute and distance. So there's those facts and information. Then I think there's the technical points, so they try and give them the technical points. So they say, look, keep your right shoulder up, keep moving forwards, keep doing the things that you know make you row technically well. And then when it really comes down to it, there's those emotional pulls, whether the cox is actually going to really start to call on why you're here, why you're doing what you're doing, and getting that last bit of motivation out of you. So really the cox for me has those 3 jobs. And generally I think I did perform better when I had someone reminding me of all the things I need to be focused on.
Especially when you used to row your brother.
Well, I think the other thing was that I rode across the cox pair with my brother, and in some ways it was quite good to have someone else in the dynamic. I don't know whether you've ever done much doubling with your brother.
I definitely would. Yeah, we did a bit of doubling, but yeah, we could only race, we couldn't train together.
Yeah. So as we take a look at this one, we've got the students from Utrecht, Orca in the Netherlands on the right of the shot, moving pretty smoothly in front of the enclosures. The crew from Trinity College Dublin have put in a good race. They've kept it close, they've kept tight, but they haven't quite been able to cut down that little bit of open water that the Orca crew were able to get out in the first half of the race. And just coming now in front of the floating grandstand at the end of the course, the Utrecht crew looking strong.
Yeah, and they can start thinking about tomorrow's race now. It's all about recovery. You know, it's a long week.
It is a long week. Again, of course, the Prince Albert Challenge Cup. They'll be racing each day all the way through to Sunday. So be pleased to get their race done. We see their win in the Prince Albert for the Orca students from the Netherlands ahead of Trinity College Dublin.